Savvy Seniors. I'm Mary Dilly, I'm your host, and today we have Steve Buist, an award-winning journalist. He's been nominated for so many awards and has won that I can't even tell you all of them, so Google him, Steve Buist. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mary.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you, my pleasure.
How did you end up being a journalist?
You know, I fell into it totally by accident.
Okay.
When I went to university, I thought I was going to be a doctor. I went to...
What kind of a doctor did you want to be?
A rich one.
A rich one, okay.
I went to the University of Guelph. I have a degree in human biology. I thought I was going to be a doctor, and then got there and discovered that it is really hard work. And it was really cutting into my beer drinking time.
Okay.
And the University of Guelph has a great student paper. I submitted something, got a real kick out of seeing my byline on top, and somehow became the sports editor of the Ontarian, the paper, and you know, did it for fun, just as a lark, you know, because did it for beer money basically, because I knew I was going off to school. I got a scholarship to go to the University of Missouri to do my grad work in neurophysiology.
Wow.
Horribly homesick. Came home with my tail between my legs. Had to wait to reapply to a Canadian school, and my job as the sports editor at the University of Guelph was open. I had nothing else to do, and then, you know, doing it, I thought, I kind of like this. And so I made up 200 and some packages of my samples of my work and a resume and a cover letter. I sent it out to 200 TV stations, radio stations, newspapers, weekly papers, all across the country. My package landed on the desk of the sports editor at the Sault Star up in Sault Ste. Marie.
The Sault Star.
Yeah, the day somebody quit. And he called me at my parents' place, and partway through, I thought, I think this is an interview. And I remember saying to him, you know, I can get in my car and I'll drive there right now. I didn't even know where Sault Ste. Marie. I just knew it was in northern Ontario.
Yeah.
I said, I'll drive there right now. And he goes, no, it's okay. And I thought, crap. He says, you got the job. So he hired me over the phone.
Nice.
I had to go get an atlas and look up an atlas.
An atlas. An atlas.
For you youngsters out there, it's a book of maps. So I had to do the G5 and hey, there's Sault Ste. Marie, and and my first job was covering the Sioux Greyhounds of the OHL. So
that's funny.
Go Hounds, go!
So how did you? Because now he just retired, but you were an investigative reporter. So what's the difference between a journalist and then an investigative reporter? I think I know what that is, but I'm going to let you tell us. And how did you segue into that?
Yeah, you know, first of all, I hate the term investigative journalist because every journalist should be.
You sound so debonair.
Every journalist should be an investigative journalist. But when we talk about investigative journalism, usually we're talking about, you know, very in-depth reporting, the kind of reporting that leads to large projects and multi-day series and that kind of thing. And, you know, I fell into that by accident too, because I was Mr. Science Man at the paper. You know, anytime somebody couldn't calculate a percentage or something like that, they'd come running to me, and so I started doing some science projects, and you know, I discovered that investigative journalism and science are very similar, because the same methodology that you would use in science is what you would use in investigative journalism. So
it's all facts.
Well, but you start with a hypothesis, you know. So in science, you have a hypothesis. You have an idea of what might or might not be true, and then you figure out what you need to test that hypothesis. Then you gather your results. Then you analyze your results, then you synthesize your results, you come up with your conclusions. Well, that's exactly what investigative journalism is. And so I think it really clicked with my science brain, I guess, you know, to be able to and I guess because of that, I was lucky in that, you know, I sort of had an organized way of thinking, which is important in investigative journalism because the projects can be quite complicated and quite large.
I was just thinking about that. I was thinking, wow, that sounds really boring. but I don't have that kind of a brain.
Well, the way I describe it to people is, if you like puzzles, okay, you get a box, you get a puzzle, cat hanging on a hanging there, baby. Investigative journalism is like, you've got to make a picture, but you don't know, when you start, you don't even know what the picture is.
Right.
And you don't even have any pieces. And your job is to go out and gather pieces and then start putting the pieces together. And you go, okay, well, there's a paw. Okay, well, there's the tail. Yeah. And then eventually you've gathered enough pieces that you've made this puzzle into a real picture. And then, that's the hard part. The easier part is to then explain it to people so that they can understand.
See, there's the difference. I only do 500-piece puzzles, and I don't do the sky. I don't. I throw the sky away as soon as I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not going to be an investigative journalist.
Never. I met Steve 20 years ago.
Yeah.
About 20 years ago. He was doing the story in the Hamilton Spectator about Schneider's Meats. Is it
No.
What is it?
I was the world's smallest pig farmer. I had one pig, and it was a fascinating project where I had a pig farmer up north of Brantford who agreed to let me basically work out of his farm.
Right.
And so the story was me raising one pig from birth to my belly.
He ate the pig.
It was delicious.
Oh my God.
Yes.
So we're reading this whole story in the paper, we're following it week by week. He eats the pig.
Yeah, well, proof of the process, So.
I don't think I ever forgave you for eating that pig. So that's
somebody was going to eat that pig.
Yeah, it could have been me. What am I talking about? So the thing that you love about this work is that you get to use your brain, you get to find out things, and then you get to inform the public of things that they need to know.
Yeah, all joking aside, I have a very strong sense of justice. Mm-hmm. I hate bullies. I hate evil people. And I really believe in the power of the press to be able to inform people of injustice in this world. I know it sounds corny, but I really believe in being a voice for people who are vulnerable, people who don't have a voice necessarily, and being able to give them that voice. And I also like informing people about the way the world works. So many people don't really understand, just how the world works. And, I had a great job. I had the best job in Canada.
Yeah, well, you were the best at it. We'll be right back. Don't go away.